What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. There's something I've noticed in the past 3 months of doing Market Watch, and that's that after every single true Draco buyout, it feels like the price hike kind of just sticks and then slowly keeps creeping up. And there's several reasons for this that I'm gonna get into in a bit, but the first thing to note is Dragonic Diagram, lowest copies, $9 freaking on both platforms. Carta Demise is the newest victim of the baby bump, almost actually double in price from that $5 price point we had not too long ago, and we see so few quantities despite having 3 different versions. 50 between all 3 versions is very short, and there's not a huge price discrepancy between the secret rare variant and the ultra rares, which is considered the highest and also locked behind a $30 MSRP product similar to Dual Power. So there's not a lot going for Kaiba Collection anymore if we actually look through here. Ash Blossom, you know, got its reprint. We have Utopia the Lightning actually doing relatively well now, and then Carta Demise is up there as the 3rd highest card. Similarly, I think actually in Dual Power, Carta Demise is vying for the 3rd spot. We have Infinite Impermanence, we then have Evenly Matched, and it's matching Nashter, which Nashter is falling downwards slowly due to the absence of Sidra Orcus, and you now see its price actually passing these two. So it's the 3rd most expensive card in both $30 sets. What a world we live in. Who would have thought that a card once begging the whole community, begging for it to be banned, would start to go up in price over time. And then finally, True Draco Apocalypse and Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, we see after their buyouts, not any real fallout despite upping quantities for what would be a foil upgrade. We see it towards $6 here, $7 here, and not really anyone vying for it to just fall out and go down. Nobody's really trying to get cutthroat and sell theirs. So when I look at this archetype, 2 things come to mind. The new Unchained, aka the Hakai for you OCG duelists. That archetype is most commonly meshed with this. Whenever I'm asking someone how they're playing it, they're pointing to this for consistency and adding some power to it as you're tribute summoning, you're not special summoning. The next thing I think of is whenever I ask a veteran duelist, and my own advice to any beginner duelist on how to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Is usually this deck. It teaches you through its traps how to interact during your opponent's turn. You're only dealing with tribute summoning for the most part, not your own extra deck, and you're getting to learn your opponent's playing the mechanics and what they're doing and how to interact with them, rather than having to just pick it each one up and learn it. You get it played against you instead, and I think that's one of the best ways to learn and then take it into hand. So for an entry-level deck, relatively simple. You don't have to care as much about what your opponent's doing. Case in point, you're just trying to outskill them. But seriously, I think this is one of the best entry decks into Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, and that's kind of why it's consistently staying there too. It's relatively easy to use and you don't have to keep up. So those things combined, I think, are why it's staying there. But let me know your opinions. Do you think it's of a similar mindset, or do you think quantities have just run out over time and that's why it's not going crazy, it's just naturally slowly going up? What do you guys think is the reason for stuff like this suddenly, you know, going up there in price like that? Now, let's look at these prismatic prices. This is very reminiscent of Apollosa with Masquerena. Remember, we had Apollosa's available around $350 almost immediately, but what's not similar is how far everything else is falling. Pyro Phoenix down towards $150, Aura down towards $130, and then we have Gorgon already under $100. Now, we did have with Rising Rampage this out the gate, you know, relatively low towards $70, but now we're seeing it fall all the way to $50. A lot of people pointing out, well, yeah, the prices are going to be high because this is the first set with Prismatics. So when we see the second set, yeah, we're getting a similar kind of chase card, but then people aren't as excited. People aren't grabbing them as much. It's not, say, a Charmer Wife material that's, you know, in the 3rd place, or an anime deck. Well, I guess, you know, this is an anime deck, but it's not a grill. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, am I right? Whenever we're looking at this fallout here, it's because we're not in the first range of these anymore. People know what to expect, and people want their money back, especially out of Chaos Impact. Anybody who slashed open Chaos Impact has an extremely poor estimated value out of opening because we didn't get a single card worth the box. We look at Abomination, Prison, and Seifert. They're both shorted, so we're looking at the most expensive secrets here in the 30 range shorted, and people do want playsets of those. Masquerena similarly shorted, and then Blue Tang not. So your estimated pull values, while you have all these 30 cards together to try to equal those $60 price points, you've got to work harder for it, and then the set completely starts to fall out after that. Striker Dragon already down to $12, despite it also being slightly short, and then everything else just down, down, down. So it's crazy how the competition's actually ramping up on the top-heavy part of the set so early, but I wouldn't panic on Masquerena. Again, almost the exact same as Apollosa was. I think she'll actually round up and be similarly expensive, and the rest of this, I think, is going to start to chill out and go down. It's just an interesting thing to watch. It's something new on the market. Where do you guys think Prismatics are going to end up going? Nibiru is over $10 consistently now. It's not falling back under. When I look at eBay, the lowest prices as well are over 10 plus their shipping. This is an interesting point because it might be A, how good Nibiru is, but also B, value displacement, because Dark Ruler No More has done nothing but fall. It's kind of cool to see the actual value from Dark Ruler No More is just getting tacked on to Nibiru, and maybe that's because of how many quantities people still have of these. You still have certain sellers trying to get rid of them. It's still this weird point to where those are the promos selling it, but if you think about it, 1 out of every 3 megatons is likely to have Nibiru, meaning a vendor just whenever they open it, they bought it at $10.50, $11 from distributors. They're getting their value back on 1 out of every 3 tens on just a singular promo and not even having to work for it, while other prices in the 10 have gone up over time. I think Nibiru is that freaking good. I think Nibiru's amazing, and I think it actually climbed to be the first $20 cards out of the 10s, thanks to the RNG. But what do you guys think? Do you think we'll actually get a reprint of this somewhere at some point? I don't think we ever did with Norden, so it'll be interesting to kind of look forward and look at where this meteor is actually headed. We have Magician hype continuing. I missed this card for a while. Magician's Navigation has gone up on all fronts, and the secret rare original first eds are barely above any of the other prices. So if you're really hunting this card down, I would just go first ed original. It'll hold the value the best and fall out the least if it is reprinted. Destiny Hero Celestial is one I've been missing on Market Watch for a while. Ever since heroes have got rehyped whenever I'm playing against them, this is a huge advantage booster for them during their second turn. Typically, if I can't bust through them and kill them, they're coming back and they're getting extra cards. This allows them to basically Pot of Greed after getting rid of their hand. So it's a really amazing card, and we see it on both platforms, almost out of quantities completely and towards a pretty high price without a reprint. Extra Hero Cross Crusader as a rare is over $2, and it's a little cheaper over here on eBay. But I would also suggest getting Extra Hero Dread Decimator if you're playing heroes, because you need those 3 downward pointing arrows, and also that attack boost is actually no joke, especially when you're using stuff like Dystopia. Finally, when I'm looking at Malicious Bane here, we see the beginning of it. We see one of our sellers has a German copy for cheaper, bringing other prices down. We also see similarly a Euro print being the cheapest on market on eBay and not necessarily flying off the shelves. I've been telling you the Euro prints and overseas copies would come to our market and bring coolant. This is just the beginning of it. Now, if these singular copies sell, you can bet they're going to look at these and go, oh, well, hey, I might want to list some more. Oh, 6 available. Singular copies, by the way. 6 available. So people are going to have to wait because they will take that low of a price jump versus the faster shipping from the US. They're definitely going to take that percentage. So you have these copies coming on over. It's going to continue to happen, especially with people coming back from YCS London and wanting a little discount on their flight. You might see this drop towards 50, like I said, as competition ramps up. Adusted Gold is moving slower, though, on the downward mark. And remember, it's similarly cheap over in Europe. And finally, I know you guys don't all necessarily enjoy this kind of a market watch, but figure watch. This is the first figure that was on the front page of Ami Ami for multiple days that I've ever seen to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! And their top-rated section on the front. I wonder why. But to note, she's the second GX figure that we're getting, and the Jaden figure started at a very similar retail, and we see it way over double and quickly rising for not being on the market that long. So if I do have a suggestion with figures, it's go ahead, expect like $30 to $45 shipping probably, and get yours if you're interested in either keeping it or reselling. Because the fact that this actually got mainstream attention as a figure is a pretty good sign it might sell well. And also, if you have the Jaden, it's a little partner for him. You know what I'm saying? He's got the Winkribo there. Let's not leave him with the hairy ball alone. That being said, that's the only figure I got for you guys today. This is on Ami. It's a website I use regularly and would highly suggest. It's very, very safe. And you can see around 134 right now. Like I said, you're going to have to expect shipping though, and then also shipping when selling and fees. So keep all of that in mind when making your big brain decisions instead of just seeing that, whoa, double up. It's not quite that easy. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Let me know what everybody thought of it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed all the conversations. I keep trying to go quicker and put a lot of information in there, so hopefully you all enjoy that because I'm bringing more and more cards but trying to shove them in and still get the information to you. And subscribe if you haven't already. I truly appreciate it. And if you want to support directly, either use that TCG player link down below or support me on Patreon. Rewards will be going out again beginning of the month. Thank you, everybody.